Hi guys, and welcome back to another preview on the channel. And yes, it's a quick turnaround from that game I don't want to talk about on Sunday, straight to the Gooners. And we got my buddy Halftime Hooks. His link is in the title, right? You guys go show him some love. Show him, we are the guys that gave him their kit and everything, right? So we are connected. We are, what do you call us? Like blood brothers, isn't it?
Yeah, blood brothers, man. Blood brothers.
Yeah, man. So go, please do subscribe to him. His content is great. I've done a About the Fan with Hooks over there. That's a couple of weeks ago now, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
you can go check that out. You can check out his other content as well. It's in the title. It's easy. Click it, show him some love. And while you're there, make sure you've liked and subscribed as well. My man Hooks, what are you saying, bro?
I'm saying that my team needs to win this game. That's all that can really be said. Like it's looking very
Peak.
very peak at the moment. Like, so I originally thought over the next 3 games, so the West Ham one included, that I thought we would beat West Ham, I thought we would beat Man United, and I thought we would drop points to Nottingham Forest. I thought we would draw. And I was happy with that. I was like, from those 3 games, 7 out of 9, can't really complain. Now, because we lost to West Ham, and not only did we lose to West Ham, Liverpool beat Manchester City, which that caught me off guard because I thought that Man City would win. We now have to win our next 2 games. Like we cannot drop points. Any more points, and
that's it.
I still don't think it's like we're completely out of the race, because, like, realistically speaking, I did think Arsenal would lose another game before the end of the season. So everything like this. So basically, the loss I thought we was gonna get, we've now got it. So
earlier.
Just earlier. So we can't get another one. So it's all about bouncing back for me. It's all about, I don't know, I think we play before Liverpool again. I'm not too sure on the time, but I think
it's the same night. I think they got Newcastle on Wednesday.
Okay, so at the same time. Okay, so
yeah, I think so. I'll double check. I can't remember. It's a full fixture list this week. So they've got Newcastle on same day. Well, we're playing 45 minutes before them. They kick off at 8:15. We're at 7:30.
Okay, so maybe we can put a tiny bit of pressure on them. Who knows? But I just think that the players need to rise now. Like, that performance against West Ham was absolutely disgusting. Especially, I didn't do a fan cam because I haven't been able to properly think about the game, because all I can think about is, why did Ødegaard run away from the ball? That's all that I haven't been able to think about the game proper, because I've just been getting so triggered by the fact that Trossard made such a brilliant run, but he ran away.
He almost ran off the pitch, man.
And to me, that just screamed he doesn't want to take responsibility.
Yes.
So now I've got to deal with the fact that my captain, who should be the one always leading by example, always showing everybody what to do, he's running away. So what message does that send to the we're in a when Yeri came off, he looked like he was limping a bit. So it's like, I genuinely feel like the world is just against me at the moment. So that's why I'm sorry, Wolfie. I would have been happy to part bread, but now we need to take all the bread. We can't share now. So I have to go to potentially one of the hardest grounds in the Premier League this season and get 3 points. I mean, it's doable. Like, it's not impossible.
Oh yeah, we're in crap form, bro. So.
Yeah. I mean, but then also, like, look, the last time you conceded a lot of goals, in the very next game, do you know what I mean?
We went to town, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a very tricky game.
I can feel. You know what you're reminding me of now, bro? Anakin from Star Wars. I can feel the conflict with you, the dark side and the Force in there, and it's like it's coming through, man. It's like which way is he gonna go, man? If you win, you're gonna be to the light, and if you lose, man, you got the Emperor waiting for you. I can feel the conflict, bro, and I feel for you, man, because I'd rather you win it than Liverpool if we're not gonna win it, right? Irrespective of what you think. And by the way, guys, obviously on our channel, yeah, this ain't never a foul. We're here to talk football, right? We'll save the banter for NAF and all that. But I'm like genuinely, when I look at Arsenal, I think you should have at least 3 or 4, extra things in that trophy cabinet, man.
Yeah.
Over the last
100%.
few years,
100%.
I feel you've been just missing them final puzzle pieces. And my frustration as a football fan is why they're not doing it? Is it Arteta's fault? Was it Edu while he was there? Is it the Cronkiers? Like, surely if someone who's not connected to the club can see it. I hear you men always shouting about it, like, get me that 9 and what have you. Why have they not seen it, bro?
At this point, I don't know. Honestly, see, my thing is we had Aubameyang, yeah, and whatever people's opinions are on Aubameyang, he's the last player that we had that I could say 9 times out of 10, put him in a favorable position, he will score. We haven't had that since Aubameyang. Now, my original kind of thought process on why Arteta didn't go out and just buy, like, the traditional number 9 is usually they're the people that have the highest ego in football. Usually, generally speaking, they have the highest, and it makes sense, right? You want your striker to have ego because you want him to want to score goals because you're a striker. And I feel like when Arteta was first trying to like build up and create the culture that he wanted at the club, having people with a lot of ego would have been counterproductive to what he was trying to do. So I originally thought that was the reason he dodged a number 9. But now I'm like nearly 6 years into you being my manager. How have you not addressed that yet? I feel like to me, the culture's fixed. Whatever you was trying to implement, to me, you've implemented it. So surely now it's just about, okay, I've set the rules, regulations, how we live, how we breathe, all of that stuff. It's just about dropping people in to plug holes now. Why have you not done that yet? Like, even if it's like for example, Sesko's not a first choice for me, but yeah, I mean, if you go through like reports and media and whatnot, he's like highest on Arteta's list. So why didn't you just go get him? Like, he has a release clause. Why didn't you just go get him? So that makes me think, do you even realize that the problem is the 9? He may think the problem is something entirely different. Like, all of the coaching staff and the data analysts and all the stuff inside there, they're okay. All I do is watch the game. They're privy to so much more data that maybe what I think the problem is watching the game with my eyes may not actually be the problem. And according to the data, the problem is something completely different. Because we all, as
it's
Arsenal,
a collective, bro, isn't it? I've not met an Arsenal fan, Arteta in or out, irrespective of that, who hasn't turned and said, we need a 9.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But that's the thing. Like, I don't know, like, we all see it, but they're not acting on it. So maybe it's not an issue to them. Because look, there's the people say, oh, you need a 9, you need a 9, you need a 9. We're about to, for the 3rd season in a row, be like 2nd to 3rd top goal scorer in the league. So goals are not the amount of goals is not an issue. I think why we need a striker or a traditional number 9 is because it's not about the goals or the lack of goals that we score. It's in moments where if we just scored, we probably would have won the game.
Yeah, and it's not the 3rd and 4th goal that we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? You can go to, like, I don't know, Leicester and tunk them 6-0. Your striker gets goal number 3, 5, and 6 or whatever. We're talking about the games where maybe you drew with Man City earlier on in the season. If you had a raw number 9 who just makes that difference in them tight games, I agree with that.
Or even the Everton game. The Everton game when we drew 0-0. Imagine we just had that. Imagine we had like a Gyökeres. Or even the first leg of the Carabao Cup against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Wait, was it the first leg or the
2-0 at the first one?
Was it the first leg or the second leg where Ødegaard missed that horrible chance? It might have been the second leg.
Oh, that was the second one where he hits the post. Yeah, that was the second leg. Yeah.
So yeah, but imagine that's Gyökeres. That goes in. The Martinelli one. Oh my god, the Martinelli one. I think that was the first leg. If that was Gyökeres, that goes. If that's Isak, that goes. Like the thing is, Newcastle.
That's Ivan Toney.
Yeah, or a striker in it. Like, and I feel like in that Carabao Cup semi-final, over both those legs, Arteta was shown why he should have signed Isak.
Yeah,
he was shown right there and then, like why he should have. So if we figure, I mean, obviously hypothetically speaking, say we go into this transfer window again and we don't sign a striker, and then I would have to think that everyone involved in my club is stupid. I would have to think that. It's all I could really think, innit? At that point, it's gross negligence.
It's an interesting point because something I was talking to Turkish about this earlier. I was like, is it just the case now that it's the crunkies, who are just happy with top 4 because it's bringing in that Champions League money, and you've done it for the last few years. You're probably going to do it again this year, and that's just going to bring that revenue in, and they don't need to go and spend, because the striker is always going to be the most expensive piece of that jigsaw puzzle. Say it is Isak. I know it pisses the Newcastle fans off when you lot talk about it, but let's just use him as an example. Is it worth, in their mind, dropping 100 and 100 or 150 on him to maybe challenge to win a league, to maybe challenge to win the Champions League? Is that revenue gap enough over just qualifying, where you're guaranteed X amount of pounds? It's like it's starting to feel like that again. And this is how it felt for me as an outsider looking in towards the end of the Wenger era.
Yeah.
Where it was, Wenger famously was talking about, top 4 is basically a trophy. I'm paraphrasing. But it just feels like mentality's been in your club for too long for me.
Yeah. No, it does. It's sad to say, but it could be the case. Like, I mean, the season where we bottled top 4, in that January window, we signed Matt Turner and Trusty.
Don't say that name, bro. Please never say that name on my channel ever again. I may have to edit that out. Bro. Because if I see that brother who's still on our books, the one you scammed us for around 12 mil for him, I may lose my crap with him, man.
But yeah, Trusty we sent back out on loan, and then consequently, we didn't make top 4 in the season where the 22-23 season, where our expectations was to get into top 4 Champions League football, and then by January we was in a position where if we just pushed the boat out a bit and went for it, we probably win the league that season.
Yeah,
we sign Kiwior, Trossard, and Jorginho. We then consequently don't go on to win the league. We're in this season where we come to January. We're in a position where we're firmly second. We're like, I think it was at a time like a six point gap on Liverpool. If we invest in that January market, especially considering that Liverpool didn't invest, we probably go on to win the league. Because say, for example, we signed Watkins. Say, for example, the club actually splashed out and said, no, Aston Villa, we know that you've sold Duran, but cool. Because we don't want to leave you out, we'll give you 70 mil. 70 mil for Watkins. Watkins, he scores against West Ham. I mean, he scores against West Ham. He scores against you lot on Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? So, but again, we didn't do anything, and it doesn't feel like anyone's really hard done by it at the club, or anyone's really like angry or
Accountable.
annoyed, about it. It just feels like, we just decided that we're just gonna do stuff in the summer. And then we're going to get to the summer, and then we probably won't do enough. So it's like, it feels like a vicious cycle. It feels like it feels like Groundhog Day. It just feels like I'm experiencing the same thing all the time. So it's problematic, because you got fans like me who, like, I'm like a Spartan, innit? Like, I'll be front, you'll look left, you'll look right, you'll see me. I'm always there, donning the badge, ready to fight for the club. But the club is not backing me. The club's not allowing me to truly be out there with Vim, because
That chest out, man.
Yeah, man. Because I put my chest, like, look, like, I put the S on my chest out against Newcastle in that second leg. Yeah,
Bro, that was funny, man.
I got absolutely cooked to oblivion. I still cannot believe it now.
You're still getting messages now on it, but
yeah. I'm still now, even, and then I put my I put my chest out again when Liverpool drop points to Aston Villa, and then I go and lose to West Ham. You know what I mean? So it's like,
it ain't easy being a content creator on YouTube. I can vouch for that. That's why you lot need to make sure you're liking, subscribing to both here and Hooks as well. Let me get your take on Forest, bro. Like, this season, everyone I've spoken to when I do the Ops preview, they're all saying, most say relegation battle, some say relegated. No one had us up in third, 6 points behind you. Could go down to 3 if we beat you. If we hadn't messed up against Newcastle and Fulham, we could be overtaking you on this game. So it's one of those things. But what's been your take on Forest this year? And put your hatred for me to one side, bro.
Absolutely amazing. Like, I can't lie. Like, I was bigging up Forest before Forest fans. Like, no, I was sticking my neck on the line for Forest before Forest fans were. I still don't think you're gonna drop out of the top 4. I don't even think that you're gonna drop out of the top 3. I mean, I say that I need to beat you, so it's getting a bit tight. But Tottenham could beat Man City. Chelsea's flopping. See, this is the thing, yeah? This is why I think that Nottingham Forest will stay in the top 4, and the lowest that they'll probably drop to is 4th, is because the one thing that Forest have, and I know that you just conceded 4 goals, but the one thing that Forest have, that I don't think Man City have this season, Chelsea definitely don't have it, Newcastle may have it a tiny bit, but I don't think as much as Forest, is you're very good defensively. Like, you rarely concede. I know there's been blips along the way, but you rarely concede a lot of goals. So most of the time you're beating teams because your defense is really good, and then you've got people like Morgan Gibbs-White, who I think is absolutely amazing, and he needs to come to Arsenal. If you're watching this, Morgan, come over to the other brother.
After his game against Newcastle, you can have him. I'm joking, you lot, before I start.
You got Chris Wood, who's been like a revelation this season. Like, in all honesty, like, I don't think anyone expected him to have.
Did you take him at Arsenal?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I can't deny he's a very good striker, but it's like you want someone that's like cool. I don't think that Chris Wood. Yeah, I don't think Chris Wood is sexy. Do you know what I mean? I think he's just like he just does the job. Do you know what I mean?
I get that. Like, but let me ask you seriously now. I know we've done it on other shows, and I've got laughed at, what have you. If you bought Chris Wood in January, do you reckon you'd have had more of a chance of winning the title this season?
100%. You could argue that Chris Wood is probably the type of striker that Arteta would love. He basically does everything that Havertz does, but he's just better at scoring. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he's not. I don't know how good he is at, like, because Havertz is really good at, like, creating space for other players to bring other players into the game and drift, like forcing defenders to drift away and create. I don't know how good. Like, I don't watch Chris Wood with that keen eye. I don't know. Maybe you have an opinion on that, but everything else, like Chris Wood excels, like finishing. He's better at holding up the ball. He's stronger in the air. Like he scores more headers. He's actually probably Arteta's perfect striker.
There
You
you
know.
go. There you go. And you could have
Yeah.
got him on a free in Jan, man, because he hadn't signed his contract. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but I don't know. Maybe he's not called Chris Woodiola in it. You know. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah,
But
Chrisella.
I hear it, man. I hear it because I didn't want him when he came. He stunk the house out under
Yeah.
Cooper. It wasn't until Nuno came in where he really got him in that formation and ticking along nicely, and it suited him. And he's just been crazy good,
Yeah,
crazy good.
but I do think that going forward, if you guys want to be like, okay, let's start figuring out how, because I do think it's a bit different for Nottingham Forest. Like, all due respect, I feel like Nottingham Forest are at that point where their focus is probably, okay, cool, how do we ensure that we get top four for the next 3-4 seasons? Like, Arsenal shouldn't be thinking about that. Liverpool shouldn't be thinking about that. Man City shouldn't be thinking about that. All due respect. Like,
I hear it.
whereas for you guys, it's like, cool, how do we secure our foundations at the top end of the table? And I feel like to do that, you are going to have to upgrade on like certain positions like striker, midfield, like wingers. Like, I do think you need to upgrade on your wingers.
And strengthening depth as well. Like,
Yeah.
because you guys will know from your campaigns, you can't go into a European campaign with a thin squad. You know what I'm saying? Or at least if it's thin, the backup has to be good enough to step up. You know, which is probably part of your problem this season, is that if you put your first 11 out, it's a really good team. But when you start to lose some of them key jigsaw pieces, as I call them, the backup ain't good enough. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that's maybe cost you a little.
Our problem, yeah, and I don't know, like, whenever I try and explain this, people like to troll me because obviously on football YouTube, that's what you do. We can't have balanced conversations about our clubs without it being.
We're doing all right today, aren't we? We're doing all right.
We're doing all right. It's like Arsenal couldn't have prepared for what happened this season, and it's ludicrous to believe that they could, because we have Saka out, our first team right winger, arguably our best player. We've got Havertz out for the rest of the season. Whatever people think about him, he's our current best striker. We have Jesus out for the rest of the season, who is our backup striker should Havertz not be there. And we have Martinelli, who's our first team left winger. So now I'm down to a front line consisting of, I don't know if it's at best or at worst, Wanyeri, who's 17. And at the start of the season, Arteta didn't really have any plans for him to play as much minutes as he's played because he's 17. And in all fairness, I don't think Arteta actually knew that he would do. Yeah, I don't think he knew that he was this good. Like, or he probably knew how good he was. He probably just didn't know that he would be able to show it as early on as he's been showing. Raheem Sterling, who I don't think I need to say anything on the subject. Trossard, who has been god awful this season. Like, he's been so bad this season.
Unless he's come, for me with him, if he's coming off the bench, I tend to feel like he has more of an impact.
Not even this season.
I know not so much this season. Yeah, but like,
honestly,
even last year, I'm talking like last year, he would come on, make an impact. And you look at it now, and the point I'm making on him is that with all those players out, he should be there saying, Arteta, play me. Yeah,
I'm the guy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He should be the guy that's like, so even though it could potentially be to my detriment because I won't win the title or I won't win any silverware, but Arteta's probably realizing now, I can't actually rely on Trossard. I can't actually rely on Sterling. Do you know what I mean? He's realizing that, okay, so going into the summer, he's probably going to be like, okay, I need to upgrade more. So he's learning this, like, because Because based off of last season, anyone would have thought, Trossard should be able to do a job around this period of time based off of last season. But he's just been awful. Martinelli, even though he's injured, he's been awful. The only attack, this is what so many Arsenal fans hate on Havertz. But we are where we are now because of Havertz and Saka. So, look,
Odegaard stunk it out as well, bro. I think his only good game was at the Emirates against Forest this season.
Yeah,
he bossed that one. He bossed that one.
But even he had a big injury this year, and I think that he got rushed back. I think he may even still have a bit of a niggle now. So it's like, it's just, I don't know. It's like just
frustrating.
Poor. This like it's crazy, man. Like I'm in such a poor situation that it's like it feels like the world doesn't want me to win the league. That's what it feels like. It feels like the world doesn't want me to win the league, and now I have to go up against Nottingham Forest, who is not only like a team that's like really up for like the physical combative side of the game, they will make you run all game. Like we will be forced into running all game. So my players will be at risk. They're already tired. They'll be at risk of further injury. So it's a good thing that Ben White's back. That will be interesting to see.
Do you think he starts right back? Timber's been playing there a bit. He's been okay, but I think he's been overused.
Yeah. So because he came back from ACL this season. So maybe Arteta goes, okay, I can start giving less minutes to Timber for a bit to let him recharge, rest. And I'm happy Ben White's, but I think Ben White over the last 2 years or so, I think he's been one of, if not our most consistent player. So it's not or even like we could go back to what we was doing earlier on in the season where we had Ben White on the right and Timber on the left.
Yeah.
I'm also happy with. I'm not saying that I'm not happy with Miles Lewis. I think Skelly's been a revelation.
Well, he's suspended for this, isn't he?
Yeah, he's suspended for this game, which I blame Arteta personally because why he started Calafiori over Skelly, only God knows. Because
Calafiori hasn't looked good, if I'm honest with you, bro, this season. Like, I know he's more a centre back than a left back, and he's being played out of position, but he's had his moments. He's got that banger earlier on in the season. I can't remember who it was against. Got a goal a couple of weeks ago. But I think defensively, I look at the West Ham one at the weekend, and I feel like he wasn't good against Wan-Bissaka leading into that goal. You know, so it's a bit crazy, man. It's a bit crazy.
So it's gonna be a very difficult game. I feel like Forest could make it even harder for us if you just tweaked your formation a bit and said we're gonna start with Chris Wood and Awoniyi. If you started with those two massive physical strikers, and each one of them just went, cool, we're going to sit on Gabriel and Saliba, one each. It's a very, very hard game for very, very, very hard game for Arsenal. I rate Forest so high, and a lot of people think that like I'm a beg in it, like, but genuinely,
you've said that since I've known you, bro.
Genuinely, I hate the fact that the Premier League has been so predictable over the years. And I like the fact that teams that you don't expect to get into the top four are now swinging it with the big dogs. It's kind of like it's not allowing teams to kind of rest on their laurels. Like it's pushing up the competition in the league. And I'm all for that. Like I'm all for like I would love nothing more than the top four to be Arsenal, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle. You know what? Throw a Bournemouth in at fifth.
Nah, let's not go that far, man. I can't stand that team, man. I got a long history with that team, man. I can't stand them. Throw in a Villa or something, bro. Let's go Bournemouth. Like, you go to extremes here, man. Let's bring it back in. So how are you calling this one, Hooks? What are you saying? Like, if I'd asked you this and you'd beaten West Ham, I reckon you'd be giving me a different scoreline here. But Like,
See, that's the funny thing. I thought it was going to be a draw under the like presumption that I was beating West Ham. So now I feel like, do you know what? I feel incredibly shameless saying this, but I say it because it has to happen. Like, we need to nick it somehow. 1-0, 2-1. I don't care how. Let it be the scrubbiest, jammiest, like all players tripping over their laces, like the keeper completely misses the ball, like I don't know, Wanyeri falls over, the ball hits the back of his head as he's hitting the ground and it goes into the bottom of the scrubbiest goal. I don't care how we score. We just need to get a goal. Because I genuinely feel if we leave your ground with anything less than 3 points, that, especially if Liverpool beat Newcastle, we're done. We'll be done. We'll be done.
So you're going for a win?
Yeah, I'll go for a cheeky 1-0. 1-0.
Cheeky 1-0. Guys, what do you reckon? Has he got hopium or is it belief? Let me know in the comments down below. Listen, bro, it's been a pleasure as always, man. Could sit here chatting to you all night. Guys, show Hook some love. The link to his channel is in the title. Click on it right now. Make sure you're subscribed. And just send him a message. Say happy birthday to him because it was his birthday. Belated birthday when they took an L to West Ham. And he says Arsenal never lose on his birthday. I got a little bit of troll in there right at the end. Guys, please make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure you subscribed as well. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.